Since 2012, we at KPJ Healthcare College has been working very hard, offering the courses that we offer, the new courses from the level of bachelor to masters, PhD, and also the medical specialist training program. We have successfully run the new healthcare bachelor programs, and I would like to highlight that we have successfully graduated the first batch on time, and this is a testimony of the hard work and quality teaching and training of the staff, academic staff, and also the hardworking students that we have.
Studying in KPJUC with practices in KPJ hospitals has got me used to great facilities and technologies that shapes me to become a good physiotherapist.
Nursing has been our forte since we started the nursing school back in 1991 with the diploma in nursing. In 2014, we started our Bachelor of Nursing.
KPJUC has been here longer than my age, so I decided to pursue my dreams due to its good reputation and higher chance to get a job as soon as I graduated.
We are proud that in 2016, we have our first graduates of Masters in Nursing, which brings our nursing school to a higher level of education school for nursing. So our nursing school at KPJUC is now an elite group of nursing school that offer all level of nursing courses. I would like to have a special mention on our Bachelor of Pharmacy. This program has been accredited by the Pharmacy Board of Malaysia in 2017. Meaning that our graduates are pharmacists that are recognized by the Pharmacy Board professionally. And what is unique about our program is that upon graduation, they will automatically be employed by KPJ hospitals to work as housemanship. Our main groundbreaking achievement that has made history, not only at KPJUC, but history in Malaysia, is our success in conducting the Masters of Medical Specialist program.
The KPJUC has actually helped me so much, given us support and also contributing to helping us to improve and success in becoming a ENT surgeon.
The reason why I joined here is to become the best radiographer and to deliver high quality in KPJ hospitals and institutions.
We are happy to note that we have a new additional college that's joining the KPJ Healthcare Group. That is the Malaysian College of Hospitality and Management, or in short MCHM. This allows KPJ Education Group a wider range of courses to be offered other than healthcare, because they are focused on hospitality and management courses.
I am proud to say that I am the product of KPJUC that has brought me up to this level of achievement. I am serving the educations for nursing for 9 years in KPJ Healthcare University College, and I am now the principals of KPJ International College of Johor Bahru.
Selepas 2 tahun setengah saya bekerja di Hospital KPJ Pasir Gudang, saya telah membuat keputusan sendiri. Saya membuka syarikat yang menggunakan base sebagai home physiotherapy service, di mana itu lagi mudahkan orang lain lah. Dan sekarang ni saya mempunyai physiotherapy center sendiri yang bernama Passionate Health and Welfare.
Okay, good morning to our Mejar Mohammad Firdaus bin Yaacob, Mr. Lee Sit Wai, and Ms. Khor Xin Yun. And welcome to attend today's webinar with the title Alternative Careers for Pharmacists, organized by the Department of the Student Affairs, KPJ Healthcare University College. Okay, just a moment, there's some echo sound. Okay, let me continue. I am Associate Professor Dr. Tan Ching Siang, Dean, School of Pharmacy, KPJUC, and I will be the moderator for today's webinar. Okay, so for all the public information, suppose we have another speaker, that is Encik Amir Firdaus bin Abdul Aziz. But unfortunately, his father-in-law passed away yesterday. So we all send this condolence to Mr. Amir and family. Okay, so let me do some introductions about these alternative careers for pharmacists webinar. Nowadays, people, especially parents and students, had limited exposure and understanding of pharmacy careers opportunity outside of the traditional pharmacist role, such as community. People will think that, oh, after I study 4 years of the Bachelor of Pharmacy, I can work in the retail, hospital, clinical pharmacy, and industry, especially in the production pharmacies. So this is a mindset. Or sometimes the elderly people, right, will think that, oh, after learn about 4 years Bachelor of Pharmacy, then you will sell medicines di tepi jalan, or maybe at any shop. Okay. And although these fields are common, exciting, and constantly changing, there was still an unanswered question. Is there anything else I can do with the Bachelor of Pharmacy degree? This is the reason why this interactive webinar is created. This webinar aims to raise awareness of unconventional career pathway, like for example, the career pathway by these 3 panels on the floor today, that pharmacy students can pursue in the future, and to showcase the various opportunities with the Bachelor of Pharmacy qualifications. One of the advantages to be the pharmacist is that it has a diversifications in career pathway. So either you can in the clinical or non-clinical, okay, or with the patient-orientated or without the patient-orientated. Okay, so first of all, I would like to introduce to the speakers. The first speaker is Mejar Mohammad Firdaus bin Yaacob, the Staff Officer 1, Material Medicines Pharmacist. You can see that Mejar Firdaus is in this military uniform today. Okay, so he is from Malaysian Joint Force Headquarters. He graduated from UKM with a B.Pharm in 2008 and commissioned into the Malaysian Armed Force as a Army Captain in Lawyer, Medical and Dental Corps in 2008. He was appointed as Head of Diploma Pharmacy Program in Malaysian Armed Force Health Training Institute at Melaka in 2012. He had experience to serve in humanitarian assistance and disaster relief mission during the Level 2 Military Field Hospital Development in Manet Ulai flood in 2014. Between, he also delivered his services during the Formula 1 motorcycle Grand Prix in Sepang International Circuit. He then pursued and completed his Master in Science, Social and Administrative Pharmacy from USM in the field of the military pharmacy. So during this USM, during my postgraduate, I know Mejar Firdaus at USM. Okay, we have a very great time during our postgraduate. Okay, and he is a life member of the Malaysian Pharmacy Society since 2010, and member of the International Pharmaceutical Federations, that is FIP, and military and emergency pharmacy sections. Okay, now next we have Mr. Lee Sit Wai. a very senior Principal Assistant Director, Malaysian Health Technology Assessment Sections. Mr. Lee obtained his Bachelor of Pharmacy degree at the USM, collaboration with the UCSI in 2005, and obtained his Master in Medical Science Community Health at the National University of Malaysia in the year 2017. He previously worked in the Hospital Queen Elizabeth, Kota Kinabalu, Sabah for 1 year, and also 3 years in the Enforcement Pharmacy Division, Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, and also 4 years in the Pharmaceutical Service Division. I think previously also colleague with Ms. Khor, Petaling Jaya. Currently, he is the reviewer at the Malaysian Health Technology Assessment Sections, that is the MATAS. Okay, so maybe this is quite rare and uncommon to some audience. So later, Mr. Lee will share about this, what is a MATAS, and conducted several health technology assessment report and a technology review report. This is very technical. Okay, he is also the trainer for MATAS in areas like formulating clinical and research questions, search strategy, retrieval of evidence, healthcare costing, and economic evaluation. He always invited as a speaker in many workshops pertaining to the health technology, meta-analysis, and etc. So previously, KPJUC, we also invited Mr. Lee to deliver about this meta-analysis writing skill. Okay, and the third panel is Ms. Khor Xin Yun, the co-founder of the Walnut Wellness by Leadinhealth. Xin Yun is a pharmacist, a digital health leader, and entrepreneur at the heart. She is leading the conceptualizations, development, and rolling out of a community-based digital health platform for the B40 community. She is also the co-founder of the Walnut Wellness by Leadinhealth Sdn Bhd. Okay, so he is the director, and a digital health company with a mission to bridge the gap in preventive healthcare through the digital technology. So he actually is a very fast responding. So few years ago, he already set up this digital technology. Okay. Before this, she also served as a ward pharmacist in government hospital and was involved in the policy development and planning work in the Ministry of Health in Pharmaceutical Service Division. I knew Ms. Khor during this medicine prize workshop in Bahagia Perkhidmatan Pharmacy. Okay, sorry. Okay, and Mr. Amir is actually trying his best to join us shortly. Okay, so perhaps Mr. Amir will join us maybe a few minutes, couple minutes of later. So first of all, I would like to introduce Mr. Amir first. So okay, Encik Amir Firdaus bin Abdul Aziz is a senior nuclear pharmacist at the Nuclear Medicine Department, Penang Hospital. And he obtained his B.Pharm in 2005 and started the PRP at Penang General Hospital in 2006. During that time, I worked as a PRP with Encik Amir in Penang General Hospital. And we also gone through these challenges and a very good experience during served as a PRP at the Penang GH. Okay. And he involved in the quality management audit in nuclear medicines conducted by this IAEA on January 2014. And also appointed as an ahli kumpulan kerja di bawah Akta Pelaksanaan Tenaga Atom, the nuclear committee of the Jawatan Kerja Pharmacy Nuclear. And he also appointed as a preceptor for USM 4th year clinical pharmacy students for radio pharmacist clerkship since 2007. And he appointed as a panel interview for program Ijazah Sarjana Muda Science Pharmacy since 2012. And currently he is pursuing Master of Pharmaceutical Chemistry at USM. So for the audience information for today's webinar sessions, I will ask a few interesting questions, and the panels will take turn to share their expert opinions and their opinions and their experience. And throughout the webinar, audience are invited to post your question in the chat room. Okay, you put completion of the webinar, moderator will read the questions and related fields panels may answer to it. Okay. So without further ado, let us begin today's webinar. Okay. So first questions. So perhaps the first question we go for the major Firdaus. Why you choose to embark in the current careers? Could you share with us your current job descriptions?
Thank you for the kind introduction from Dr. Tan. So yeah, really, we have a good time in USM before. So Alhamdulillah, here we are back to job. So first of all, I would like to thank KPJUC for inviting me, for giving a speech, and also sharing some experience from the military perspective of career. So perhaps the young generation will expose more about the alternative career. Besides, we know, yes, KKM is there, and also community pharmacy is there. Let's hear about military. So yeah, I still remember when the first time I interviewed to join the Malaysian Armed Forces. So in 2004, if I'm not mistaken. So they asked me about the question, why do you want to enter the military? You are a pharmacist, you are a future pharmacist. During that time, the first year student in UKM. So my answer is same from that day until now, I think. So I answered the question with clearly. I want to jihad fi sabilillah. Yes, as a Muslim, so we have ambitious to have shahid and to defend our country with our blood, with our tears, with our sweat. So that is my first answer to them. So they asked me the further question. So you are a pharmacist, you know, bring the gun and shoot to the rest or to the enemies. So it's give me to the second answer. That is, I want to help other people. For example, refugee or internal displacement people in the humanitarian and also disaster relief mission. So I know if I'm in the military, so I will have a chance to help them alleviate their suffering from the natural disaster or man-made conflict disaster. So giving them hope, giving the best treatment, same as what we give to Malaysian citizens. I think they deserve the better health treatment from us also. So they accepting me. So now I am a military officer. So until now. Besides that, I also have the other reason to enter the military, such as I love the uniform army. So from that day until now, yes, I love to be in the green. I love the dress to be like a soldier. So here I am. And the fourth answer is I want to serve my country as a government servant. As a government servant, we know we are not money driven. I'm not I'm not talking about the community pharmacy selling the drug. They provide the good service to the community. But as a government servant, we serve the country, we serve the government without asking any beneficial perks or something monetary driven. So beside that, I want to explore more. Okay, for the last reason, I want to explore more than in KKM. So KKM, I mean Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia. Yes, they serve for citizen, but I serve for the military armed forces, our Malaysian armed forces, the Navy, the Air Force, and also the Army. So that's why I'm a pharmacist. For the second question is what is my job description actually? First of all, I want to introduce about my organization. So yes, I am military. Inside military, we have many parts of practice. For example, hospital pharmacy. Yes. For training, previously I'm the head diploma program in Canada camp. Institute we call it. So we teach the diploma program there. So we teach the in service. They enter the military first, and then we provide the training in the diploma for 3 years in product camp. So when they graduate, they have the diploma. So currently, I serve for Joint Forces headquarters. What is Joint Forces? Joint Forces is mean we have a combination of the three service. So the Army, the Navy, and also the Air Force in one bumbung we call in. So Joint Forces is organization to coordinate the troop before, during, and after mission. So before troop deployment, so we prepare them. So when they deploy, we serve them. So we feed them whatever they need. And after deployment, we handle them and send back they to their troop and respective unit. So I would like to sharing you this coming July, there are NPC, National Pharmacy Conference 2021, and in the organized by MPS and the Malaysian Pharmaceutical Society. So I have the one poster that the pre and post military have experienced a qualitative study. That is a quantitative study I'm sharing from my study in USM. So I would like to invite all of you, all of our audience, to enter to register the MC and enjoy the program. So back to the question just now. Joint forces, so we help them, the troop, in terms of deployment. So as a pharmacist, my role is to ensure the medical element can deploy with sufficient medicine, consumable, where they have a vaccine, material, and also medical equipment. So in the large troop, for example, 800 of them, they are a small part of medical unit. So medical unit deploy with them to take care of battalion. So main job is to serve them with equipment, medical equipment, medicine, consumable, and everything. So to make sure our medical element can serve the battalion. So that's all from me. Back to you.
Okay, thank you for your very good sharing from Major Firdaus. And between Major Firdaus, so is it there is a places or the available of the PRP allocation? If let's say the fresh grade they want to enter as this PRP allocation places at the military pharmacy, do you know about that?
Yes, start from 2015. KKM, Ministry of Health, opened the place for us to have we call PRP, right? PRP to have a PRP in-house, which is we do the PRP program in Tuanku Mizan Hospital in Kuala Lumpur, Wang Semaju, Section 2. So we have senior pharmacy to train them to become a pharmacist in-house. So yes, we can train PRP in-house.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, thank you for your sharing. And perhaps I also will inform to our our B Farm final year student at KPJ University College. Okay, thank you for your sharing. Thank you. And then perhaps we also would like to hear from Mr. Lee. How you would like to choose to embark into the current place at the Matas, and can you share with us about your current job description?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you KPJ, thank you Dr. Tan for inviting me for a sharing session as this alternate career pathway in pharmacy field. Now, just briefly talking about my experience, actually, I'm from the first batch PRP, and I'm the first batch who get sent to Sabah at the time. You can imagine how challenging it is when you are the fresh grad and you are going to post to somewhere far away, like 2.5-hour flight. during that time, we got only Mars and AirAsia just started their service, so it's kind of challenging for me. So I started my PRP training in Hospital Queen Elizabeth, and after 1 year thoroughly, I gone through most of the hospital service like inpatient, outpatient, TDM, TPN, and got to experience a lot of ward around with the doctors. And after all the trainings, I actually find out that pharmacists can do more other than just become a clinical pharmacist. So the second year, I actually applied to become the enforcement pharmacy, and my 4 years there, and learned about all the enforcement pharmacy job there. Then after that, I get transferred back to pharmacy service program. Last time was a division. Now they're upgraded to become the program. And I actually spend my time there doing the data analysis and data collections for medical pricing. So it's from there that I developed my interest in pursue my postgrad. That's why I apply LDP, which is Latihan Dalam Perkhidmatan. Then, fortunately, I get the chance to further my study in UKM. Then, after the UKM postgrad, I get to assign to a new place, which is where I'm having right now, Malaysian Health Technology Assessment Session, which is under Medical Development Division. Is actually from program Perubatan, which is medical program, Ministry of Health. So from there, I start fresh again, learning what health technology assessment is all about. So in short, new health technologies is a new coming technologies that pertaining to health. It's not only talking about drugs, it's also involve medical devices, the new program that we are going to implement, the new system, the new procedure that they are going to do in their clinical setup and that kind of stuff. So before they implement this kind of service, they need someone or the reviewers to review what is it about. So the aspect that we are looking into in health technology assessment, including the safety, the clinical effectiveness, the cost effectiveness of the health technology. And at the same time, we're looking into other aspects like ethical issue, legal issue, society issue, environmental issue, if there are any, and even the organization issue. I mean, like how much is the cost to set up the new service or new program also we need to take into consideration. So in here, we have the other procedures that going into, like if you are in doing the health technology assessment, you need to learn the basic skill of evidence-based medicine or evidence-based practice. So what is evidence-based practice all about? It's actually starting from finding the appropriate articles through systematic search. How are we going to do systematic search? Is through setting our objective, doing our proper PICO, in short, which is like we have to know our population, our intervention, our comparator, our outcome as well. So once you have that, then you need to do a systematic search to look into the available evidence or the information or the published literature that we have pertaining to that new technologies. So after we choose the appropriate title or the appropriate articles or published research to be put into our considerations, the next step is to do a critical appraisal to look into that published literature, whether it's suitable for us to be used in producing our report. Then after the tedious process, then we need to have skills like doing meta-analysis, doing network meta-analysis, systematic reviews, in order for us to systematically classify and systematically accepting that evidence that we have. So after this, we have to transfer whatever information that we have into the reports. So another important skill that we need to look into is the cost effectiveness aspect of it, which involve the skills of knowing what health economic and pharmacoeconomic is all about. So with this, we can also helping our decision maker in doing the budget impact in order to know if the new technologies is coming to implement in our healthcare system, how much budget impact is involved in implement this as well. So this is roughly what the health technology assessment is all about. And the good thing about health technology assessment is that it is transparent, it is formal, and it is systematic, that accepted by most of the country around the world. So is when I get involved in this, is like I from zero then start learning what health technology is about, and until now I'm still learning, and it's quite a progressive and quite an informative journey for me. Okay, this is just roughly what I've gone through.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lee, for your sharing. Mr. Lee and I also were this first batch of the PRP, and I also was supposed posted to the Sarawak at the first PRP posting phase. But after I received the letter, and then at the night itself, I also took the bus and then go to the bahagian perkhidmatan pharmacy to buat rayuan. Okay. And then for this Martha's job, right? So actually, it's a very interesting, and it is close related to this pharmacoeconomic. So it's interesting that you can merge between the pharmacology and also this economic part. Then you can evaluate certain of this event or program that is it a benefit to the public. So in the second question later, Mr. Lee will elaborate more about that. Okay, thank you, Mr. Lee.
Okay, thanks.
Now we go to the third panel, that is Miss Khor. Miss Khor, I remember that in 2017, I met her in this bahagian perkhidmatan pharmacy during a medicine price workshop. And then straight away, Ms. Khor also told me that I'm going to resign very soon and to join some public health awareness company. Okay, so she is this co-founder for this Walnut Wellness. Okay, and then perhaps Ms. Khor can share with us. Okay, thank you, Ms. Khor.
Sure, thank you very much, Dr. Tan. Thank you for your kind introduction, and thank you for having me here. So on this question, I guess what influenced me was really the time when I practiced back then in the clinical setting. So when I first graduated from USM, I was posted to Penang GH, just like Encik Amir, and after that, I was then posted to serve as a ward pharmacist. That was those times where I deal with patients with all the chronic diseases like heart attack, heart failure, diabetes complications, or even chronic kidney disease. So I think those times, right, we try our best to definitely treat them by titrating their medications, giving antibiotic, by even providing counselings to help them to understand their medication and to improve their compliance, right? So most of the time, we get to stabilize the patients and send them back home. But then, guess what? We're going to see them coming back again to the hospital every now and then, because eventually when they have chronic diseases, is a chronic condition which they had before life, and most of them did not control the conditions well when they are at home. So at the end, they would just succumb to the diseases itself or the complications. So those days, a lot of questions came to my mind. I was just asking myself, how can we then prevent this from happening? How can we help that young father who had heart attack because of his smoking habit to quit or manage his smoking habit even before he got heart attack? How can we help another young lady in her 30s who came into the hospital twice because of coma due to uncontrolled diabetes? How can we help her to change her lifestyle before she even get diabetes or even eventually suffered from all the different complications of diabetes, right? And how can we help that young kid that I came across back then in the hospital? How can we help her not follow her parents' footsteps and to even manage her weight better when she was still young? So those questions I asked myself back then, and that triggered me to study a lot more about preventive care, about how we can then help people to manage their lifestyle, whether it's secondary prevention or primary prevention, to help them to manage their disease or manage their risk factors or allow to prevent chronic disease from happening. So those incidents, it somehow inspired me to look into preventive care, and then later I built up a passion into how we can use digital technology as a tool or as an enabler to even help people to manage their lifestyle. So fast forward a few years after that, I decided to start up Walnut Wellness together with other co-founders. And the vision was really simple and direct. We wanted to reinvent preventive care, help to reverse people's lifestyle with digital technology and effective coaching tools. So, as a company, what we are doing is to provide corporate wellness services to corporate employers to help to improve their employees' health. Corporate wellness services are essentially a suite of services and programs, like, for example, health screening, mental health assessment, or even different awareness talk programs, talking about creating awareness on chronic diseases or healthy eating habits or fitness, and then also coaching programs, which are more interventional, like, for example, management, speaking session, or even ergonomics workshop. So the services are focusing mainly on really helping the employees to change their lifestyle, whether it is fitness level, whether it's their nutrition, whether it's their screening behavior, whether it's their life behavior, like, for example, smoking, or that we look at each employee as a whole, meaning to say our approach is pretty much a holistic approach to help to improve people's well-being with different services and as well as our own digital technology tools. So now we started off the company, and eventually throughout the years, we evolved also into providing sort of like a preventive care concierge, where we work closely with insurers, screening providers, pharmacies, pharmaceutical companies to design various campaigns or even digital platforms to help them to engage their patients or target audience. So, for example, one of the example is we help a pharmaceutical company and a supplement company to build web application to help them to improve their product compliance among their customers. And besides, we also organize like things like a nationwide blood glucose screening campaign. Recently, we just launched it. So actually, all the audience can also go to our partnering pharmacies, AMPM and Multicare, to do a free blood glucose screening. This campaign is organized by our insurance partner. So in short, from being a clinical pharmacist, right now I'm sort of like a digital health entrepreneur come a coach kind of thing to provide coaching services to employees and as well as to help different partners, health providers, or even pharmaceutical company to design their customer engagement campaign using our digital tools. That's all from me. Over to you, Doctor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Khor, for your very interesting sharing. And for the audience and also my colleague, KPJ Healthcare University College, for your information, Ms. Khor is this HRDF certified trainer. And I just talked to Ms. Khor just now, so perhaps in the future we will have some collaboration in terms of this CPD workshop. And yeah, so now public, we all are moving to this preventive care. So especially Ms. Khor step very fast forward to apply to all the digital health. Especially it's very practical during this pandemic time. Okay, thank you for your sharing, Ms. Khor. Okay, so next we would like to invite Encik Amir, and before that, and we would like to say salam takziah to Encik Amir and the family. Condolence to Mr. Amir and the family, and sorry about your loss of your father-in-law. Okay, and perhaps Mr. Amir, can you share about why you want to embark to your current career, and also about this job description? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, KPJ and Dr. Tan. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, first of all, again, I would like to thank KPJ and Dr. Tan for inviting me for today's session. For your information, I am also the first batch, come from the first batch of PRP, okay? If not mistaken, that time is in 2005, is it, Dr. Tan? Okay, somewhere around 2005. Okay, after I finished my PRP, okay, so my boss, my HOD, head of department at that time, said like, actually we can choose. Okay, we can choose whether we want to take uh, outpatient department as our first posting after PRP, or you can choose also whether you want to take CDR, TPN, and so on. And then another department is nuclear medicine department. Okay, so at that time, my boss, my HOD, asking me, okay, Amir, do you want to take do you want to do radio pharmacy? Okay, I just say like, never mind. I can do anytime, anything that you want to give me. So my boss said like, okay, we decided that Amir, please you take radio pharmacy. Okay, good. So then after a few weeks, after a few days, my HOD sent me to nuclear medicine department, and then I introduced myself to my new HOD there, Dr. Mohammad Ali at that time. Okay, so after I have introduced myself, everything, and then I say like, sorry, Dato, I have no idea what is radio pharmacy about. So, and he sent me to do some training at Sydney at that time, at Westmead Hospital for 3 months. Okay, and then in Sydney, in Westmead Hospital, I learned some theories about nuclear pharmacy, and then what is radio pharmaceutical. Okay, because at that time, before I go for that training, actually I do not know what is radio pharmacy. I thought that radio pharmacy is something like giving information to the patient, something like DJ. Okay, radio. Okay, a pharmacist work in the what we call that, in a conti. Okay, give some information like a DJ. Okay, something like that lah. So I thought, because why I say like that, because during my undergrad, okay, in USM, I do not learn about radio pharmacy. Okay, because radio pharmacy is at that time, during that time, okay, radio pharmacy subject is an elective subject. Okay, so actually you can choose whether you want to take elective or not. Okay, so at that time, I take management as my minor paper. So I omit the elective paper, the radio pharmacy, okay, and then I take minor in management. So that's why I have no idea what is radio pharmacy all about. So that's why my HOD, Dr. Ali at that time, sent me for a training, for 3 months training. Then after I learn everything there for 3 months, then I come back to the department. I do create the what we call that, the procedure how to prepare the radioactive radio pharmaceutical. Okay, for your information, actually, radio pharmaceutical is a radioactive material. Okay, and then we bind with the pharmaceutical. Okay, pharmaceutical product, and then so radioactive material, when you bind with pharmaceutical product, it will become radiopharmaceutical. Actually, radiopharmaceutical is a type of medicine that can be used for diagnosis and also therapy. Okay, and then okay, for my job description. My job description, okay. Actually, every morning, actually for radio pharmacists, we start work at 7:30 a.m. every day. We do the elution. Elution is a process to take out the radioactive from a generator. Okay, and then when we get the radioactive, then we bind with the pharmaceutical product. For example, okay, I give you one example. Let's say we want to do a bone scan, okay, bone scintigraphy. We know that our bones need phosphate, okay, calcium, and so on. Okay, so here we use the phosphate, okay, as and then we bind with the radioactive material, for example, the technetium, okay, and then this phosphate will take the will bring the radioactive material to the targeted organ. Okay, so the pharmaceutical here or the drug here or the medicine here actually work as a carrier. Okay, to bring the radioactive material to the targeted organ. Okay, so every morning we will do that. We will do the preparation. For your information, in Penang General Hospital, we currently have just about 4. Okay, we just have about 4 pharmacists, radio pharmacists. Okay, one of them is doing the contract. Okay, PRP contract. Okay, so actually all of us have no experience doing radio pharmacy during our undergraduate. Okay, so that's why if not mistaken, in 2012, okay, USM tried to send their try to send their final year student doing some clinical attachment, the clerkship, okay, clerkship attachment for 2 days every week for at least about 5 months, okay, to learn, actually to give some exposure what is radio pharmacy all about. Okay, that is one of our tasks actually. That is one of our job, teaching. Okay, another one is okay. Just now I said that every morning we do the preparation, radio pharmaceutical preparation. So after the preparation, actually we have to do some QC. Okay, QC is quality control of the product. We want to check whether the product is the purity of the product is more than 90%. Okay, more than 95%. Sorry. Okay, so what we do is we try to use the we use the chromatography paper. Okay, so actually for your information, all of the QC we learn during our undergrad lah. Okay, for if not mistaken, the pharmaceutical analysis paper. Okay, so another thing is we do some procurement, such as we purchase the radioactive material. We buy some consumables. Okay, maybe some of you will ask, is it risky? Okay, is it risky or is it okay to work in nuclear medicine department? Okay, as a radio pharmacist. For me, okay, for the radiation protection, okay, actually for me, as long as you comply with the radiation protection principle or the concept, actually it's safe for you to work there. Okay, I give you 3 example of the three principle of the radiation protection. First, okay, what you need to know is TDS. Okay, TDS is not like 3 times a day. Okay, but TDS stand for time. The more time you put, the more time you prepare the radiopharmaceutical, so the more exposure that you will get. Okay, so try to minimize that. Okay, for another one is time distance. Okay, D stand for distance. Okay, try to keep distance from the radiation source. Okay, so for example, you know that the source of radiation come from the generator, so at least 1 meter distance from the generator, or for example the patient as well. Okay, once you inject the patient with the radiopharmaceutical, the patient will get some radiation exposed, so at least 1 meter from the patient. Okay, another one is shielding. You have to for example the pharmacist. Okay, when you deal with the radio pharmaceutical or radioactive material, you have to like stay behind the shield. Okay, so I think that's all for now. Dr. Tan.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Mr. Amir, for your sharing. So I still remember we did the PRP together at the Penang GH. At that time, the Ketua Pegawai Pharmacy was Puan Jubaida. So we have this the experience and the good challenges over there. So that time, clinical pharmacy was not famous during that era, and one of it is this radio pharmacist. So now, I mean, it is a great to see that now Malaysian, the pharmacists, right, we have a very good established clinical pharmacy services, especially in the KKM. Okay, now we move to the second question. Second question, it is about what are the knowledge, skills you have learned during your undergrad B.Pharm that mostly apply in your current working place. So perhaps we can go to Major Firdaus first. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Tan, for the second question. So for the second question, I think this is most likely idea is for our student, right? So our beloved student. So I divide into two actually. What pharmacy school teach us and what pharmacy school don't teach me. So the first part is what the most appreciate subject in the pharmacy school, which I really appreciate it during my job and working career time. So that is pharmacology and also clinical pharmacy. So with the pharmacology and clinical pharmacy, this is the basic knowledge about medicine. Because during the job at the work era, so they just ask you, hey, can you check this? How about the adjusting dose? So how about the adjusting the intervals? So what is the most optimum outcome therapy or any preventive step to be taken to our troops. So I really appreciate most the pharmacology and also clinical pharmacy. Beside that, we need to focus about the immunology. Why? Because we deploy the troop around the world. So for example, we send the troop to the Congo, to the Yemen, to the conflict area, which is there are endemic about TB, Ebola, smallpox, and any infectious disease. So we need to protect them with the vaccine, and also we need to advise them, consult them how to take the malaria pill, for example, on the Congo. Otherwise, they can get infected and become sick. So be careful. If they are sick, they cannot come back here with the flight. So the procedure is very, very massive. So to seek the treatment over there, so we need to arrange the what we call the evacuation, I think medical evacuation. So we need to send them to the hospital, seek for the treatment, and they are far away from our country. This is a really massive job. So as a pharmacist, we can prevent it. Like Ms. Khor mentioned just now, prevention. Prevention is better than cure, right? So we need to prevent them from getting sick, and then they can work well and come back to our country. So the second part is what they don't teach us. Yeah, I don't blame them. I don't blame the university. They provide me the good teaching experience. So thank you to UKM and also USM. So what they don't provide me is about the knowledge about logistic and also medical equipment. So as a pharmacist, we need to maintain our inventory. For example, we must keeping the stock with the storage, distribution. We handle the consumable and also medicine. There are several items with the particular part. For example, drug for cardiovascular, there are many. So drug for endocrine, there are many also. So we need to manage them, keep them available. So we must have some knowledge about logistics. So logistic in terms of storage, procurement, and also distribution. So whatever we do, we must keep our troop equipped with the available medicine. They don't accept the nil or out of stock. Yeah, because the deployment, when we deploy to the certain area, so it is not easy to replenish the stock. For example, they deploy to the certain countries such as Philippines. So if something happen, they're running out of stock. So they are in trouble actually. So we must avoid them, and so we must have the knowledge about logistics. That's what we explore. So I explore this based on my experience and also my senior. Yeah, they help me a lot. And the military, we have a mentor-mentee program. Yes, mentor-mentee is very, very helpful in the job. It's not just in the school, during the school time. Yeah, during that time, I also not really appreciate UKM organize the mentor-mentee program. But when come to the job, so we will appreciate because we learn from their experience. So we don't need to do the same mistake as them before, but we learn from their experience, improvise, modify, and also apply wherever what situation that you have. So bear in mind, my beloved student, KPJ student, yeah, we learn from experience. So learn their mistake, listen to their advice. So don't be arrogant and buat apa saja yang kita suka kan. So the second thing is medical device. So medical device, also the long story. So they didn't teach us to how to set up the regulator, how to set up the nebulizer, what is the stretcher, how many types of stretcher. We don't know yet. We don't know in the pharmacy school. So I learned this from the basic. So need to why I learned this, because as a pharmacy, as I mentioned before, we must support the medical operation. For example, doctor and nurses, they are frontliners. So they face to the patient and also the insurance officer. But as a pharmacist, so we need to support them in terms of medicine, consumable, and also medical equipment. How to support them if we don't tak kenal barang-barang lah. For example, oxygen tank. So how many size they have? So macam mana mau simpan that medical device, the stretcher and so on. Winching stretcher, for example. So they need to pakai winching stretcher in the certain area and also condition. So don't blame the pharmacy school. They cannot teach us everything. But the most important is we are pharmacists. We must know the drug. We must have the good medicine knowledge and consult them with the proper manner and professional. So thank you. So back to you, Dr. Tan.
Okay, thank you, Major Firdaus, for your this very interesting sharing. So yeah, perhaps in this pharmacy curriculum, right, we also include the small part, sometimes the small part of the inventory. And so for your audience informations, we also have some this inventory logistic CPD workshop through this KPJ staff as well. So in future, perhaps Major Firdaus, we will include you as one of the speaker for that. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Next.
Really good.
Yeah.
I will,
okay.
inshallah.
Okay. Next, we will invite Mr. Lee to share his opinion and experience pertaining to this second questions.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Tan. Yeah. As because my undergrad training actually contribute a lot for what for me to understand what I'm doing right now. You see, like for example, like we learn basic research methodologies during our undergrad time. Then only with that we know what kind of trials that available for us. We understand what's the characteristic for, let's say, randomized control trial, cohort, what is case study, what is case series, and this helping a lot when we are designing the research, or we are assessing the type of research in the published articles. We get to know what kind of characteristic they're having, right? Then basic skill that we learn during our pharmacy practice, our pharmacology, our organic chem, and our clinical pharmacy, etc., helping us a lot in understanding what are the ways for us to knowing whether the health technologies or the drugs are clinically effective in that sense, and how we are going to assess that to prove or to know that whether the drugs or the health interventions are effective. Basic biostatics or the epidemiology, helping us to know about how are we going to look into the different outcomes of the study of the report. And we don't just rely purely on whatever statistic that provide by the articles itself. If we are know enough about statistic or the biostat, we will be able to recalculate the results based on whatever data input they are having. So yeah, basically, if you didn't go through the hard way in knowing what or in studying whatever you have in your undergrad time, is actually not easy for you to step into postgraduate journey and eventually go deep into certain field that require a lot of expertise, like health technology assessment. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for Mr. Lee sharing. Perhaps for this research methodology, so like what Mr. Lee mentioned, so the lecturer also keep on mention to the especially to the final year and the third year students pertaining to this research methodology. So this skill, right, later on is very useful, especially in the postgraduate and in their career pathway in future as well. So it's very good to use this skill to critically appraise the article.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Okay, next we will have Miss Khor Xin Yun to share her experience pertaining to this undergrad knowledge in the current job.
Yeah. Thanks, Dr. Tan. I think there are two parts of it. First one, I find that the clinical learning definitely helped me to understand the healthcare system, and also to help to really uncover the real needs in the people. You know, for example, we see that right now our whole healthcare system, we are kind of like swayed more towards to the curative solutions, and it's a lack in the preventive care area. So that's one thing. And then second thing is, I think the pharmacological study, or even the whole disease understanding and management, that definitely helped me in the initial stage while we were designing our services and program, or even our system. Because of that knowledge, it helps me to really understand the needs on the ground of people, and for us to tailor the solutions to help them. But I would say what I found that was really helpful for me was actually the experience I gained outside the classroom. Because I think back then in the university, I was that type of students who like to just join all sorts of different activities. I was the captain for the USM fencing team. I was one of the pioneers to get a Green for Green Lung Association, and one of the key management for even the Asia Pacific Pharmaceutical Symposium. Right, so I think reflecting back, those experience outside the classroom, it helped me to build my leadership skills, my project management skills, the whole social skills and presentation skills, or even to learn how to work in a team to accomplish something. So I think this kind of experience, the non-academic experience, was really, really helpful for me as I go along in my career. Yeah, so just a tiny bit of sharing with the students. One of the things is I would really encourage the students to continue to learn, unlearn, and relearn even when you graduate, even after you graduate. is a continuous process for us to continue to grow in the field that you choose, in the career path that you select. Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for Ms. Khor sharing. So perhaps the understanding, especially what Ms. Khor has done now, I mean, to increase the awareness for the public to understand about the diseases, okay? So that actually from here, they actually can increase their compliance and better take care of their disease, okay? And yeah, really agree with this non-academic experience is very important, especially that these are all the soft skill, communications, management things in their career. Okay, now we would like to invite Mr. Amir to share his opinion pertaining to this knowledge and skill learned during the undergrad that I can apply to the current job.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Tan, again. Just a short answer from me. Actually, for me, pharmaceutical analysis is one of the subject that I learned when I was undergrad. The best thing is some skill in doing the QC, the quality control, okay, using the chromatography paper. I still remember that at that time I used LC, thin layer chromatography paper, okay, and then put some ninhydrin and everything, okay. I still remember. So the knowledge that I learned from undergrad during undergrad at USM, I still can apply during my job. And then the second thing is how to interpret the result. Okay, for example, you will know what is the chemical purity, what is the impurities, what is the cause that what is the source that can cause some impurities to your product. Okay, just that I missed the subject, the radio pharmacy subject, because I didn't take the radio pharmacy subject. For your information, I take minor in management actually because I want to open the pharmacy, okay, the retail pharmacy. But you know, when after you finish your PRP, actually you can resign from the government. But you know, our parents said like, I asked my parents whether can I quit from government and then open my own pharmacy. And then my father at that time said like, please lah, government is the best orang kata apa, the best source, not source, the best job, okay, the best job that instead of working in the private sector, okay. So that's why until now I still work in government, okay, because of that advice from my father. Now government give the opportunity to us to how to say, every 3 or 4 years you can naik pangkat, okay. So that is much better, okay. Okay, thank you, Dr. Tan. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you for your sharing, Mr. Amir. Yeah, and I still remember we did this locum together at this retail pharmacy. I work with Mr. Amir. We take rotation. Okay, and okay now. So before we go to the last questions, so please allow me to use this platform to do some promotion and advertisement. So School of Pharmacy at KPJ Healthcare University College, we do offer a diploma in pharmacy, Bachelor of Pharmaceutical Science, and also Bachelor of Pharmacy. And in this year, we also offer some of the scholarship to this candidate that who are very interested to pursue their study. Okay, and then we have a very good team of the lecturer to support the students' academic and also this student affair things. Okay, now we would like to move to these last questions. Okay, now this last question, right, will comprise of two components. Okay, and we would like to invite the panel to share with us the role as their current job pharmacist during the COVID-19 pandemic, and their advice to the pharmacy students if, let's say, they wish to embark in their current field. Okay, so first of all, and then we would like to invite Major Firdaus to share his opinion and experience on it.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tan. So this is the combination of two questions actually. So let me simplify it. So during the pandemic, COVID-19 is a really massive thing. We need to do a lot of things in pharmacy. Such as same as our PKM friend, they busy with the vaccine distribution, storage, and set up a vaccine center. So same goes for the military. So we do the same for our military requirement. So other than that, we have specialty about deployment of military field hospital. Let me introduce what is a military field hospital. Actually, hospital is a permanent building, but field hospital is a mobile hospital, which is we can deploy everywhere. This is the military art actually. So we provide the medical for the injury soldier since the World War II. So yes, we have medical in the British Army and also Malaysian Army during that time. So until now, so because we are already Aman, very peaceful country, so we apply the field hospital to the disaster. So during this time, so we deploy to Tawau, Kapit, and also the Kepala Batas, I think, Kepala Batas, and also Johor Bahru. What we do is we deploy a field hospital to help our KKM colleague. Because we have the specialty about field hospital, we can deploy everywhere. So we deploy the field hospital to back up KKM in terms of perangi COVID-19 for our negara lah. So the second is we play a role as set up quarantine station. Because we deploy a large number of troops, so we cannot depend on the hotel to have the quarantine station. So we set up our own quarantine station in Port Dickson, Malbat village we call. So they come back from mission, they need to quarantine for 14 days. So we take care of their bedroom, food and drink, linen, so waste management, and also consumption station. So this is what military pharmacy does during the COVID-19 season. So lastly, we send the protective equipment, personal protective equipment, PPE, to the our deployed troop in the Lebanon, Philippines, and the rest of the world. So it is not easy job. Yes, we start from procurement. So we procure the thing here, and then we packing, we wait, and also so we terbangkan the item lah. So we get the item into the flight, and then custom clearance kat sana. Ataupun ship dekat ship pun ada pengalaman dekat port, so kita hantar item dekat port Beirut during that time. So if you remember the during the August last year 2012, kami ada hantar item ke Lebanon. So during that time port Beirut tu meletup disebabkan oleh aluminium. So luckily our container is safe lah. So ada satu container yang mengandungi kita punya ubat dan juga pakai habis lah kat sana. So luckily they receive they think the item with a good condition lah. So finally, the last question, what is my advice to our student? So I have 5 advice here. So start with the number 1. So try to finish B.Pharm with flying color if possible. Try to score 3.0 and above. So we are happily to accepting you in our organization. So secondly, take care of your good health. So we cannot buy the good health outside there or anywhere. So you must drink, you must take the food carefully, and also exercise, take care of your sleep, and avoid the smoke and also abuse substance. So take care of your good health so that when you are healthy, you can join the military. So my advice number 3 is participate with the sport activity. Whatever you do, you enjoy your sport and become a master in that. So during my university time, I'm involved with the silat. So tempur tanpa senjata dan juga tempur senjata lah. So we know how to take care with the pisau, keris, and also senjata-senjata tajam yang lain lah. Without menggunakan senapang and our gun lah. So bila masuk dalam tentera, so they teach us about the rifle, about the gun, and so on. So complement yourself to self-defense. Self-defense is important to you, and also good for your health also. So try it. So number 4, take care of your body mass index. So in military, you must take care of your body mass index. So below 26.9 or less. So along the career and also the entry, so you must take care about your BMI. So we cannot have the askar badan besar lah kan. Why? Because we need healthy and also fitness. So along the career progress, when we are getting old, we know that fat and also obese people, they are getting more sick with the diabetes, cardiovascular, and so on. So we must take care our health. So the policy is below 26.9 or less. So finally, polish your leadership. So in the military, we are organization. So kami dipimpin dan juga memimpin. Your subordinate, and also you receive order from the commander or higher command. So you must execute, and you must listen to the command, and also you must polish your leadership skill, so that as an officer, pharmacy officer, so you can lead our subordinate to do the thing. Yes, we are in organization, so we cannot do everything by alone. So soldier, we do in the group. So as a student, you must start to polish your leadership, learn something from the course or by your experience, participate with the social activity, for example, a club and persatuan, so on. So I think that's all. Handing over to you, Dr. Tan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Major Firdaus. So, and plus another one advice to stay at home now. Yeah, and pertaining to the BMI, so our KPJ, our KPJ group hospital right now. I mean, the KPJ hospital, they also insist the good BMI for their staff. So even for those newcomers, right? The newcomers, they come for interview. They also check their BMI. The ideal BMI one, then they will take. Take this priority. So perhaps this task and the job will pass to Ms. Khor to increase the awareness to the public. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
next, we would like to. Yeah. Next, we would like to invite Mr. Lee.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Tan. So first, the third question is about what is our rules as a pharmacist during the COVID pandemic times. During the pandemic time, World Health Organization (WHO) had highlighted an area which is called information pandemic. In short, infodemic means people is having a symptom called information fatigue. They are blasted with a lot of fake news. They do not know which kind of information is true, which kind of information is false. So during this pandemic time, which started early last year, 2020, all our reviewers in health technology assessment, we are grouping together and involved in doing a lot of assessment and quick, rapid evidence updates for all the different kinds of health technologies that involve a lot of area like disinfections and sterilization, screening and diagnosis, public health interventions, and the clinical management for the COVID-19. So currently we have developed more than 40 reports and is available publicly at Ministry of Health websites. So this is for the public to understand the evidence available for the different kinds of interventions for COVID-19. So with this, we hope that this is our effort to actually fight or to battle against all the fake news and to educate publics more on differentiate between what kind of news are the true news and what kind of news are the fake news. So the questions about my advice to the pharmacy students, if they want to embark in my field, definitely first is to study hard. Okay, so but just enjoy whatever things you are learning and the learning process right now, because sometimes you might feel that the subjects you are studying right now is tough and might be irrelevant to what you are doing, and you don't know what and why you are doing these subjects other than just want to pass and get your results done. But when you achieve one day achieve your postgraduate level, all the things that you learn during your undergrad time will start to make sense. And it will form a strong foundations for you if you are going to deep into certain field. Okay, so just enjoy whatever you're doing right now. And second, never stop to improve yourself. Even though you have gone through your undergrad study, like myself, I'm in the field of health technologies where we have to be very alert of all the new technologies, health technologies that's coming in, and we have to keep track of all the new informations, and not to forget to differentiate between the real informations with the fake information. So the only way is for us to keep alert and never stop learning. So this is what I can conclude and what advice I can give to the current pharmacy student. Okay, thank you, Dr. Tan.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lee, for your sharing. Yeah, I mean, Mr. Lee and the team, this is such a very crucial, important, especially in this pandemic. So in the screening of this fake news, okay, and then they also evaluate all this intervention program, including the vaccine program, the cost and the outcome. So if let's say, I mean, the government accepted the range, then it would be a good program, and then to achieve this a very good outcome. And Mr. Lee, we are looking to have another meta-analysis workshop and inviting you as this speaker. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Now next, we will invite Ms. Khor, pertaining to this last question.
Thank you, Dr. Tan. I think for us, our role is mainly on two things. The first one is more on creating awareness among the employees of the company. So at the beginning of the whole COVID pandemic, what we did was we launched a self-care during COVID-19 campaign to all our corporate companies, audiences. What we did was we drafted a lot of reliable health information, as what Mr. Lee mentioned, right? At the time, there's a lot of fake news that are happening out there. So we wanted to feed our audience the right information so that can help them to prevent COVID-19 the right and scientific way, rather than following all the dubious information out there, right? And another thing is what we see on the ground is a lot of employees, they get stressful even when they are working from home, and because of the whole pandemic issues, and people are experiencing Zoom fatigue and whatnot. So what we are doing also is in terms of providing health awareness program to help them to manage their stress, or even awareness program on COVID-19 prevention. What is the right way to wear a mask? What is the right way to wash your hand? Or even to debunk some of the myths regarding COVID vaccinations, because we know that vaccination is one of the way out of the whole pandemic, right? But then a lot of times people may have different opinion or different information, whether it's right or wrong. So we wanted to also spread the right information to the employees. The second part is more towards addressing the risk factors of people getting severe COVID-19 or even hospitalization. So what we have been doing on the ground is to provide the weight management program or even the nationwide blood glucose screening campaign. So these activities help in addressing the key risk factors here, which are obesity and also diabetes issue. And we know that people with chronic diseases or even people who are obese, they have a few times higher risk of getting severe COVID-19 or even death from COVID-19. So that's the main thing that we do during COVID-19 pandemic. And with regards to the next question, I wouldn't call it an advice for me. I would say it's more of sharing, because I feel different people, they may have different intention and different strength. So I feel from my end, my sharing would more be that at the moment, still I was just reflecting where am I past back then. I think that time I didn't know what I want, or I didn't know why I didn't see. I think all of us are like that, right? So I think as we go along, my sharing is that I encourage you, as I shared earlier, I encourage you to continue to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And always open up your mindset and expose to different things, whether it's within your professional field or out of your professional field. Whenever you have the chance, expose yourself and learn it, and then you can decide whether or not you want to continue to master that skill. And what I meant here is not just like academic or technical stuff. Yes, if you are interested in academic stuff and technical stuff, go ahead. Also bring up soft skills, your networking skills, your leadership skills. And I feel one thing that is really important for us to build up is also the people that you learn, that you know along the way, right? So these are really important things. And I'm not just sharing from my perspective as a co-founder of a startup company, but also sharing from the experience of my friends and my counterparts. I have friends who open up a pharmacies. I have friends who open up a supplement company, skincare company, medical device, or even pharmaceutical company. I have friends in pharmacy, friends in startup, friends different now who is into coding, like the technology stuff. I have friends who is now the data scientist, or maybe a researcher, or maybe a public health specialist. I think as a pharmacist, we are kind of blessed to a certain way. The skills that we have and the experience that we have give us a lot of opportunity to explore the things that we want later on. So I think my suggestion to you all, my sharing is really just expose while you're a student, just expose whatever that you can right now. And as you graduate, then you can slowly build on, decide what you want to focus on later on in life. And, even right now as a student, join an NGO, join different activities, do a part-time, join different social event, even take a course on Coursera, whether it's a data scientist course, a digital marketing course, an online marketing course, or even maybe understanding more about GMP, good manufacturing practice, anything of your interest. And even go for an internship, or even try doing research. That was what I did back then to test out whether or not I like research, and I found that it's not my thing. So my point is that just try and expose to a lot of things, and then you would know slowly what you really like to do and what you can contribute and offer value to the society. Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Khor, for the encouraging words to these students. Okay, so Ms. Khor is very passionate and also positive-minded pharmacist. And yeah, very agree that the skill equipped by the pharmacist, which can be, make you later on, you can embark in this entrepreneurship, in the clinical, etc. Okay, so for the public and the students, if let's say you would like to know more, then you can follow Ms. Khor, this Walnut Wellness Facebook. Yeah, so you can get a lot of this information. Okay. And next, we would like to invite Encik Amir. Okay, pertaining to this last question. Yeah.
Okay, thank you again, Dr. Tan. For the third question actually, what is the role of nuclear pharmacists during this COVID-19 pandemic? Actually, to be honest, we as a nuclear pharmacist do not involve directly with the vaccine. With the counseling, giving counseling about the vaccine and so on. Okay, sorry for that. But for the fourth question, what is your advice to the pharmacy student if they wish to embark in your current field? Okay, for me, all of the knowledge, okay, during your undergrad, actually, everything is important, okay, because actually if you work in nuclear medicine department, you will like interact with a lot of category, okay. For example, the staff nurse, the technologists, the physicists, okay. Physicist is pegawai sains fizik who is taking care about the radiation protection in your department, and then of course the doctors, okay, and the other pharmacists, okay. So these 5 categories actually you will interact with them every day, okay. So with your basic knowledge in pharmacy, okay, actually you can give some idea what is this medicine, for example, is it this medicine will give some drug interaction with another medicine, something like that, okay. So you will give a knowledge about that medicine, okay. And then as I mentioned earlier, actually radio pharmacy subject is the most important thing that you really need to know if you want to embark to this in this nuclear medicine, okay, because from this radio pharmacy subject, actually you will learn about how to handle the radio pharmaceutical or even the radioactive material in a proper way, okay. And then when you work here, actually you have an idea for you. Let's say you want to further study doing your master program or doctorate program, okay, you will have some idea what is a radiopharmaceutical for you to produce, okay. For example, okay, there's a lot of researchers try to discover a new product or radiopharmaceutical in order to provide an excellent management and interpretation of the diagnosis and the therapy for the patient. Okay, I give you one example, right? For bone scan, we know that our bone need the phosphate, okay. So we bind with the we bind the phosphate with the the radioactive material, and then this phosphate will bring the radioactive material to the targeted organ. Okay, that is one example. When I do the training at Westmead Hospital in Sydney, what we did is we try to bind. Okay, there's one patient. What we call that, got a fever of unknown origin. Okay, so we know that that must be something like an infection. Okay, so we know that antibiotic. Okay, antibiotic. When you consume antibiotic, this antibiotic will go to the infection site of infection. Okay, so what happened is we try to bind the radioactive material with the antibiotic, for example the ciprofloxacin. Okay, So this ciprofloxacin will take the radioactive material, goes to the site of infection, and then when you scan the patient, you can see that, okay, that is the radioactive material. Okay, that means it got infection and got uptake there. When you do the scanning, okay, then you will know that the infection will take the antibiotic. Okay, so you can see the image there. Okay, because the radioactive material that we use is the technetium. Okay, will emit the gamma. Okay, so actually the gamma. Okay. For example, we know that, okay, when you go to radiology department to do some X-ray, okay, the machine will give the radiation to the patient, right? Okay, in nuclear medicine, the patient give the radiation to machine. Okay, the other way. Okay, because just now I said that to do the scanning procedure, you have to inject the radiopharmaceutical to the patient, and then after a few minutes or few hours, okay, the radioactive material will emit the gamma ray. So that's why we will use the gamma camera, okay, the gamma machine, gamma camera or gamma detector to detect the radiation from the patient's body. Okay, so here to embark to this radiopharmacy, actually you need to know a lot, okay, about the clinical, about the clinical pharmacy, about the pharmaceutical analysis for the QC part, about the physics of pharmacy, and so on. Okay, I pass back to Dr. Tan.
Okay, thank you for your expert sharing from Mr. Amir pertaining to this radio pharmacy. So perhaps this will be related to this radio pharmacy. So in fact, I think hopefully that all this undergrad school of pharmacy can put the radio pharmacy as this one compulsory modules rather than as this elective modules. Okay. And for the audience, so feel free to put your comments or questions in this chat room. Okay. So in the nutshell, Pharmacist has this diversified career opportunity from this drug development, from the zero to the patient care, and from the non-clinical and to the clinical perspective. So with this evolution of the era, more pharmacists are needed in the current pandemic, and especially to the current patient-oriented pharmaceutical care services, like for example, the military pharmacists like the Major Mohammad Firdaus, and also the hospital nuclear pharmacists like Encik Amir Firdaus. So looking at the current pandemic, pharmacists who involved in health technology assessment and the pharmacoeconomic like Mr. Lee Sit Wai are playing a very important role in advocates decision making by providing these evidence-based reports on the emergent new health technology to the public, policy and these decision makers. And while Ms. Khor Xin Yun is a co-founders of the Walnut Wellness, an entrepreneur who started off a digital health company providing the coaching program and also the community health campaign to the public. So I can say that education doesn't come to an end once people are in the middle of their professional careers. So learning is a continuous process, not an episode event. So we know that the healthcare industry is a very competitive and dynamic environment. So you can see that the vaccine and also the COVID-19, the screening test is evolving. You can see now they are using the saliva to test for this COVID-19 as well. Yeah, and we believe that a skilled, motivated, and with the higher qualifications of a pharmacist always need up-to-date knowledge as a competitive advantage. Okay, so keep on learning, don't stop. So I would like to share a quote: do not stop learning just because you graduated from a university. Aim to continue to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And with that, we end for today's webinar sessions. Before I move to to see the question and comments, I would like to take this opportunity to thank to the 4 speakers today. Thank you, Major Mohammad Firdaus, Mr. Lee Sit Wai, Ms. Khor Xin Yun, and Encik Amir Firdaus for your informative sharing. And okay, let me see, is there any comments or questions from the audience? Okay, now, okay, first of all, from No Nashra, okay, how to join enforcement after graduating? How to join enforcement after graduating? So, perhaps Major Firdaus, do you, or Mr. Lee, do you want to comment? Okay, so perhaps after completing of your this undergrad, right, you need to apply for your PRP registration number first. Then after that, you can go to this Lembaga Pharmacy Malaysia website, and then to apply through this SPA, because it's under the government sectors, under the SPA. Then from there, perhaps you can choose for this enforcement sectors rather than in the hospital. Anything want to add up, Major Firdaus, Mr. Lee, or Ms. Khor, or J. Amir?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tan. So actually, the enforcement is not a military field. Enforcement is under KKM, Ministry of Health. So during my PRP time, I do the PRP in Hospital Kuala Lumpur. Okay, during that time, Hospital Kuala Lumpur sending me to the Wilayah Persekutuan Enforcement at the Tasik, what we call Tasik tu? Tasik di Timasa, bukan Timasa. Tasik dekat Bukit Aman tu. I don't remember the Tasik tu kan. So the enforcement part is under KKM. It's not under military, but I have the very nice experience during the enforcement. I go to the kedai-kedai obat sekitar Chowkit and so on. So buat apa ni, inspection dan juga rampas pil-pil yang tak sepatutnya lah. Okay, so untuk menjawab persoalan tu, saya rasa apa ni, our colleague in KKM is better lah. Okay, thank you.
To add on, thank you, Major. Thank you, Dr. Tan. So to add on, actually, all of us here is not the suitable people to answer this, because government posting, as most of you already know, is under JPA, as what mentioned by Dr. Tan. So basically, when you are under government service, the first thing that you need to know is what is your interest, definitely. Then second thing is to explore yourself to see whether you are suitable in that post. For example, you are interested in enforcement. Before you say you're interested, you have to know the reason or what are the strength point in you that entitle for you to work in enforcement. Then the best way for me is to approach the officers from the enforcement and let the enforcement officers advise you, because I think all of us here is currently not working in enforcement. Then I don't think it's appropriate for us to comment on that, on how you should join enforcement. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the feedback from the panels. So from this, Mohammad Lee Zuan, if I take diploma in pharmacy, which industry can I join after graduated? And perhaps from the diploma in pharmacy, right? So you actually can join to this retail, hospital, or industry. So, but if let's say you want to, move to this executive or management level, so perhaps you can further to your degree, either in the Bachelor of Pharmacy or Bachelor of Pharmaceutical Science, or any bachelor program, so that you can go to the higher level. No? And then from the, another one question is that, can I join forensic department? Forensic department, yeah, I think especially for the pharmacists that we will join to this more to the patient and also this medicines orientated department. So I think the forensic one, it will be more related to the forensic program. Yeah. Okay, and then from Aida Mohammad, Miss Aida Mohammad, is it true that in 5 years' time, there is pharmacist specialty or pakar in a specific hospital department like cardiovascular pharmacist or orthopedic pharmacist and so on? Okay, I think maybe we can invite Encik Amir. This is more to the hospital clinical pharmacist. I think we have started in the KKM, I think in 2005, methadone pharmacist, and then MTech, warfarin, respiratory, etc. Yeah, maybe Mr. Amir can comment on that.
Okay. Thank you for that question, Aida Mohammad. Actually, for your information, in general hospital or in many hospital actually, in KKM actually, we have started with MTech. Okay. We do have our own cardiology pharmacist, nephrologist pharmacist. Okay. For example, another one is nuclear pharmacist as well. Okay. Actually, not to say in 5 years time, actually now also we do have that. Okay. Every clinical section, for example, just now I said about cardiology, nephrology, and so on. Okay, actually we do have each section. We do have we do have the pharmacist there. Okay. For example, myself have worked since 2006 in nuclear medicine department. Okay, so I am the one of the how to say, the pioneer, okay, in Malaysia doing the nuclear pharmacy. Okay, that's all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Amir. So in fact, I think Miss Aida Mohammad in this KKM, right? Our pharmacy team is doing very well in this KKM, especially in this tertiary and the secondary hospital. So we have various of the ward pharmacists that specialize in the surgical, ICU, medical ward, and orthopedic, pediatric ward as well. Or we have one specialist hospital over there. So in fact, KPJ Hospital, we also will move on to this direction in the coming very soon, that we will provide also this inpatient, the clinical pharmacy services in the KPJ Hospital. Okay, and then another one question is from Amiro. Okay, what is the requirement to join military? Age, physical, and is it under SPA application? Major Firdaus.
Thank you for the question. So the requirement for military, we have two types from the diploma entrance and also bachelor program entrance. So for the B.Pharm, we become military pharmacy officer, and for the diploma pharmacy, we become lain-lain pangkat lah. So both also have the career path, which is actually the question is asked about the age and about what else, age and the height. Dr. Tan?
Yeah, age, physical requirement, and also any criteria lah. I think it's more to the physical and the age. Yeah.
Okay. To apply the military pharmacy, so we must get through Ministry of Defence. So we have cawangan tenaga kerja under MINDEF, so Kementerian Pertahanan lah. So cawangan tenaga kerja berperanan untuk merekrut semua military lah, bukan sahaja farmasi. So, apakah age yang sesuai? So, mereka tahu sebagai pegawai graduan, so umur tu akan lebih meningkat lah compare dengan those yang without diploma or degree. So, for normal military entrance, so they after SPM, they start recruiting daripada umur 18 tahun. So, after diploma, kemasukan after diploma is 21 year olds, and also after degree is about 20 years old. So, however, this umur can be extended until 30 years old. If I'm not mistaken, is until 30 years old. So 31 is cannot enter anymore. So 30 years old is the point of age. How about the height and also weight? So weight is you must comply with the BMI requirement, 26.9 and below. And for the height, we have a different height for male and also female. So if female, 1.6 meter for the female. If I'm not mistaken, 1.68. I don't remember the figure, but I can check for you and get back to the Dr. Tan later. If I'm not mistaken, from my experience, is about that's number lah. 160 cm dan juga 165 cm lah. Okay, berbeza untuk lelaki dan juga perempuan. And then mereka juga ada ukur lilit dada, ukur lilit pinggang dan sebagainya lah. Tapi mereka sangat precise about ketinggian dan juga berat selain daripada infectious disease. Kalau kita dalam badan sudah ada HIV ataupun hepatitis, so tak boleh masuk lagi lah. So itu saja saya rasa. Okay, please add on, Dr. Tan, if I not answering the question.
Okay, thank you, Major Firdaus. So perhaps this is, the military is under the SPA. SPA is under the government sectors, so you can apply through this SPA portal. Okay, and then another question is that if students diploma in pharmacy can work in the narcotic and in the prison. Mr. Lee, do you want to comment?
Narcotic and prison. Okay, I think most of the audience here, they are worried about, or they are concerned about what kind of specialties they can go into. So maybe I'll have a brief introduction on how as a government servant work. So as what Dr. Tan say, we apply to SPA, which is like Suruhan Jaya Perkhidmatan Awam, and it's actually a Suruhan Jaya under the Perkhidmatan Awam. So when we posted inside, the most of us, as I mentioned earlier, is the early PRP batch that during our time we are having a 4-year government service. Means government recruit us in order for us to be posted in government service. Then every department under JPA, they are linked to different military. Like Mejar is under Ministry of Defense. I'm and Encik Amir is under Kementerian Kesihatan. So every kementerian, they are having their bagian sumber manusia looking into the human resources. So to answer your question, if you are interested in working in narcotic or in prison, you have to look into the related ministry that are offering this job, and you can actually apply from there. So this is just a short, briefing on how you can enter into government service. Hope that's helped.
Yeah, thank you so much. The opinion from Mr. Lee. Okay, I think it can be a last question from Amiro. Any new field in pharmacy that you suggest graduate to join, for the job opportunity? Okay, so maybe perhaps we treat it as this last question. Okay, any opinion, Mr. Lee and also Major Firdaus?
I think if for me, first find your interest, because we have been going through like nearly 2 hours, and I mean each of us we are introduced what job scope we are doing and why we are in the field from the beginning. So everyone started new, and then I think one of the main point is when you go into certain fields, explore yourself, be open, don't be too restrict in, okay, I want to be a military pharmacy, I want to be a HTA pharmacy. Like I share my experience, I never thought that I can become one of the reviewers in health technology assessment. And then, in fact, I don't even know what HTA is about during my undergrad time. So my suggestion for you all, before asking for job opportunity or what kind of you want to specialize in cardiologists, nephrologists, you want to specialize in narcotic or in prison, if you are undergrad, explore yourself. There are more options to be explored rather than you stick to the point, I want to have that job. I mean, don't restrict yourself, because as all of us already agree, pharmacist is a career with a wide range of opportunities. If you are still undergrad or you just graduated, explore more on whatever. Maybe you can just offering yourself in whatever field that you feel is related. Then from there, you just ask the related personnel. And then I think this is why Dr. Tan invited us to share our experience from different fields. So this is for you to open your eye by knowing that pharmacy is actually a big career. So if you are still an undergraduate, open your eye to all the opportunities that you are having. Definitely, you can apply for whatever job that you are having, because just now Ms. Khor also mentioned some of pharmacy that I personally also know, they are data scientists, they are programmers, and they don't even imagine they will become a programmer or data scientist when they started as an undergraduate, as a student. So my point, keep yourself free, keep yourself open, explore whatever opportunity you are having before you decided to limit yourself or to specialize yourself into a specific field. Thank you.
Can I add on? So
Sure,
thank you, Mr. Lee. That is a good advice. So identify yourself what interest area you are interested in. So the second is keep your open. And then from me, try to stick with the MPS or the society, so you can engage with other people, the senior people in the platform of the society, so that you can know which area they practice in Malaysian Pharmaceutical Society. If you want the global template, you can enter the FIP. So FIP is the international organization where they have the subspecialized in the world what a pharmacy are doing out there, academician, social pharmacy, and so on. So I joined the military and emergency pharmacy section so that I can meet our colleague from other country, because in Malaysia, military only one, right? Malaysian Armed Forces. But if I want to compare with and also I want to share with the experience about military pharmacy, I must go to the global platform so that I can add my knowledge, sharing their experience, and also meeting people from out there, how they practice, and then we can improvise our practice in Malaysia. I think selamat mencuba lah to student. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Very constructive suggestions from Major Firdaus and also Mr. Lee. So Amiro, you can can explore it, and perhaps you can attend to the now it's quite easy to get this online webinar about this career opportunity in this website, and then because you are still young. So after 1 year, 2 years, explore yourself. If let's say you still not suitable for you, so perhaps as we shared just now, I mean, the pharmacist is a very dynamic and diversifications. So it can be from the clinical to the non-clinical side. Yeah. So this is the beauty of the pharmacist. Okay. I think okay. So it is almost a 2 hours webinar now. So perhaps and since there is no more any questions, so with that, I think we end for the today's webinar sessions. And I would like to take this opportunity to thanks to these 4 speakers today, and thanks to the Major Mohammad Firdaus, Mr. Lee Sit Wai, Ms. Khor Xin Yun, and Encik Amir Firdaus for the informative sharing. I greatly appreciate the time you have taken to share your knowledge with us. And for all the audience, as well as the students, parents in front of the screen, thank you for attending this webinar session. If you have any question, right, feel free to post your question in the KPJUC website or under this portal of the KPJUC. So our staff will attend to you as soon as possible. Okay, thank you so much for everyone. So with that, I think we end for this 2 hours webinar. Okay, thank you.
Okay.